Morning guys, this morning we're off to take Thor to the vet. The reason we're taking him to the vet is because we're starting his application for his pet passport. Now if you're new to the channel, we have a European trip booked in summer and we're taking our pet dog Thor with us. So because obviously we're travelling in Europe, obviously we need a pet passport. So we're going to the vet to go and get his rabies vaccination to get the ball rolling. Now normally what happens when you apply for a pet passport is you have your rabies vaccination, and then I think it's 21 days later your pet can actually travel. Now with all this Brexit thing that's going on, which I really don't understand if I'm being honest with you, apparently if there's no deal, what will happen is if you want to get a pet passport, your dog has to have the rabies vaccination, you then have to wait 30 days, your pet then has to have a blood test to confirm that the rabies vaccination has worked, and then if the rabies vaccination has worked, and that's done by having a blood test, if the vaccination has been successful and the antibodies are obviously enough that it's been successful, you then have to wait 3 months before you can actually travel with your pet. Now obviously it's winter at the moment and we're obviously getting Thor's vaccination done now, because just on the possibility on March the 29th that there's no deal, we would then have to have the blood test done to make sure that the vaccination has worked and then wait 3 months. But if we wait till then, we'll run out of time, because obviously we're travelling in summer and we've worked it out that there's no time. So what we've had to do is we've had to look at it as a worst case scenario. So we're having to do it where he has his blood test, he has his vaccination that he's having done today. Once he's done his vaccination, we are then going to wait, I think it's 30 days, and then we're going to have to take him back, and then he's going to have his blood test to make sure that the antibodies have worked, and then we're going to have to wait 3 months before we can travel. Now like I said, it's a bit wordy and a bit complicated, but if you have a look on the gov.co.uk website, it's got all the details on there. But we have no choice really. We can't take the risk of, obviously, because we've paid for a lot of things, done a lot of planning, the European trip that we've got planned, we have to get Thor's passport sorted now. And if that means that we have to pay extra to have the blood test done and then wait 3 months, at least we're prepared for the worst case scenario, and by doing that we know that he's going to be able to travel. Okay, we've just left the vet. Thor's had his vaccination now. He was a really good boy as well. We'll give him a treat when we get him. So what we need to do now is we need to wait 30 days and then we'll take him back to the vet, and that's when he has to have the blood test done to see obviously if the vaccination has been successful. Told you it was winter, it's snowing. You've been a good boy after your rabies vaccination, yeah? Hi guys, well it's 30 days later and we're back at the vets again for Thor's passport. What we need to do now is we need to get a blood test done to make sure that the rabies vaccination has basically worked. So we're going to go and take him in now, he's going to get a blood test, and then we'll have to wait about another 10 days to get the results. Morning guys, right, it's been about 2 weeks now since we took Thor in to actually get the blood test done for his rabies vaccination. Just had a phone call from the vet and the blood test has been successful. So that means there's enough antibodies in his blood system that means that he's passed it. Now don't forget, the only reason that we've had the blood test done is because he's had his rabies vaccination, and just on the off chance that there's a no deal with the Brexit on March the 29th, it just means that the system that it could possibly go to, whereas you have to do it where you have the rabies vaccination, you have the blood test, and then you have to wait 3 months before you travel. Because we travel in summer, we've got to look at the worst case scenario, just in case there's a no deal. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to the vet and I'm going to go and actually pick his passport up. Okay guys, so there it is, we've finally got Thor's passport. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm just going to summarise. Oh, that's Thor back in the background, he's letting you know that he's got it. I'm just going to summarise now exactly what you need to do to actually get your pet passport. Right, okay guys, to summarise then. So, as it stands at the moment, if you apply for a pet passport, your animal, number one, it must be microchipped. Number two, has to have a rabies vaccination. And then number three, you have to wait 21 days and then you can travel with your pet. Now the other possibility to get your pet passport is if you apply for it and there's no deal after Brexit on March the 29th, if you apply for your passport, your pet, number one, has to be microchipped. Number two, has to have a rabies vaccination. What you will have to do then is you will have to wait about 30 days, then take your animal back to the vet. Your animal will then have to have a blood test to check that the rabies vaccination has worked. That will take about 10 days to about 2 weeks. If you get the results that the vaccination has worked, then you have to actually wait for 3 months from that date that you get your results before you can travel with your animal. Now the reason that we've had to do it like this and actually apply, because it's January at the moment and we're travelling in summer, the thing is, if we wait till March the 29th and there's no deal, and it actually turns out that the system of the pet passport is going to go that way, where you have to have the vaccination and then you have to have a blood test and then wait 3 months. If we do that after March, we're travelling within that 3 month period. So this is why we have to look at it as a worst case scenario, and that's why we've applied for it now and done everything. Now don't go essentially off every word that I say. Do your own homework and actually check and actually speak to your official vet as well. It's been a long process for us to obviously get through all this, and we've been speaking to the vet, and there was even certain points where the vet wasn't 100% sure exactly how the whole process works and things, and he had to actually do some investigating as well. So like I say, don't take it as absolute truth what I'm saying. Do your own homework. You also need to remember, when you return back into the UK, you need to go to an official vet and you need to get a tapeworm treatment, because that has to be stamped into your pet passport so that you can return back into the UK. Now my understanding of it is, when you have the tapeworm treatment done, it has to be done, and then 24 hours later, up to 5 days, you can then use that time window to return back into the UK. But again, do check, because that's my understanding of it. I'll put some links below so that you can actually have a look at some websites that we looked at to get all the information, and obviously check it out for yourself. Well, anyway, so after all that, Thor has finally got his passport. Like I said, we're doing a big European trip in summer, so if you haven't subscribed already, please do, because there's lots and lots of exciting videos to come. And if this video has been informative for you, please give it a like. Now, obviously, if you have any questions, just put it in the comments below and I'll try and answer the questions best as I can. And if I don't know, I'll try and find out for you. So, thanks for watching. So, from me and Thor, he's over there looking at the window looking for squirrels. Until the next video, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.